Well, in this next winter special, guess what? Japanese maple, we all love them. Loads of you will be getting excited right now as you start thinking about the Japanese maple that you're going to be repotting in 2026. Well, it's actually March 2025 right now, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. And the only reason you're not seeing it then, now, before, is because I reckon I inundated you with Japanese maple stuff. So, enjoy. We're going to take these 4, which I've had in some loose soil and bases on them, and transfer them into good old-fashioned pond baskets, because I think each of those will individually make a great tree.
Do you really believe that?
And we're also going to find out exactly how the summer pruning for all of those trees gets on. Does it achieve the results that I want now in late winter of 2026? We're also going to celebrate 4 years on YouTube, 22nd of February 2022. All the 2s with a few zeros. That's pretty good work. So I've got a few words to say about that. And also a big shout out to Scott Bonsai and Sons. I can see you. You're all over the couch right now, aren't you? Thank you very much for watching. So anyway, let's go back a year and just see exactly what went on. Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to my bonsai retreat, and the sun is literally beaming straight down on my face. It's the middle of the afternoon. It's the 31st of March 2025. For me, that seems incredible. But this got put in the pond basket, I actually believe, in 2024. So I don't think it's been in it that long. But the main reason is because it had lots of healing to do. And I've just found these red leaf Acer palmatum really difficult to transform into bonsai. So I thought best thing I can do is try and get it into lots of good healthy soil and just let it develop slow time and see what happens. Anyway, before I get it to this stage, we need to get the ones that we've got in the shopping tote into their individual pond baskets. And once we've done that, I'll tell you what, we'll bring you back and then I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do with that right now. Okay, well, there's no easy way to do it. Really, all I can do is, in fact, it is easy. I've literally just got to tug them out of the tote box, and we'll have a look at the roots in a second when I can put it in front of the blue screen. But what I will do is just get a little bit of the soil off. And if we look at it, I mean, already we can see. I don't know if you looked at last year when I took the other ones out to make a forest. And I was surprised by just how much root growth there was. But there's definitely potential there. Anyway, into the water. Pull this one out. Again, came out very easily. We've got all those lovely white roots, which are indicative of weeds. Nothing more. Okay, well, here they all are. And I mean, the first of you are probably going to say, is this dangerous? Because the leaves are all opened up. And if you're looking close there, you can definitely see we've got them opening up. And I certainly said on a number of videos when it comes to Japanese maple that a lot of professionals will actually wait until the first flush has opened up before they do their repotting. This isn't, for me, a big issue. I've certainly done this as well, and I haven't suffered in any way because of it. At best, we might have some sulking maples, but all I want to do is just get rid of some of these horrible roots and just spread this out so that I can actually try and see if we can get the pond basket to develop something a bit better. So all I'm doing is really just remove a couple of the big ones, take some ends off, and that is about all I'm going to do. Maybe I'll put a bit of wire on just to give them a bit of separation. Why not? In fact, what we'll do is we'll just clean up some stubs. And I find stuff like this is much easier to do before I put it in its new medium. Overly long, so we don't want that. Let's get rid of that. Got another stub there. Take that right back to there. Now, where I've got a stub like this, I've left about 1 centimetre. I'll put some cut paste on there. Got my usual mix of inorganic pumice, zeolite. I've got the leca in there. Looked over there because that's where the bag is. Forgot the title. And little slate coaster. So first of all, do you want to see how the wiring went? Wired it out nicely, just giving it a bit more. So we've got this coming out this way and a little bit of movement out this. So hopefully, even without loads of ramification, because that's one of the issues I have with the red maples, that should be fine. I'm going to place that on there and good amount of soil on it. Now, I haven't wired that in, so of course I use my my rocks to do the job that I want. Hopefully we can find a nice little stone just about there. So there you go, and it's actually got really quite an interesting shape to it. I'm very aware with pruning these that because they don't seem to backbud that readily, I don't want to go too far back or anything. I actually want to get lots of growth on them, but ideal place really is here, because we've got all these budding points here right at the top. I don't want that, but right there we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm actually going to take it back to there, and the same here, we've got 1, 2, so I'm going to take that one back off, and the same up here. Just see if we can get those to that will take that one further back. There you go. So we've controlled the top. There's 2 buds here. I want those. And again, I'm going to take off that one there. So I think that's going to look pretty decent. I have no doubt it will thrive in the garden. The soil itself has got activated charcoal. It's got some general fertilizer slow release in there from Oceana. And the only thing I must make sure, put a note of that in my bonsai database so that I get a reminder in about 8 weeks time just to double check the wire, because if these all flush out, I don't want this marking or scarring. I'd much rather put more wire on in a couple of months time. So I've got 3 more to do, and I'll show you how they look when I've finished. But apart from that, we do have one thing to talk about. I've got 2 prime cuttings here. Yep, the temptation is to treat them like any other normal cutting, put them in soil and see if I can propagate from those. But you know what? These red leaf maple are hard enough to develop as bonsai at the best of times. I feel like it's a losing battle sometimes. And truthfully, getting cuttings, doing air layers, all of the things to do with these red leaf maple just seem a waste of time. I've never had any success. And as I don't like the species that much, why would I waste my breath? Sometimes you've just got to say no. And there they go, with a bit of battling and fighting. Probably that one is actually wrapped around a stone. Not very well, but again, the structure, they're so angular. I do not like them. We've got that one, we'll give that a go. This one is actually quite promising. It's got a lot of bends and movement in it. And actually, I think this could make a good, decent tree. So we've got this one and this one, which I both like. And I think the only thing we need to watch is this one. This is, well, I've got a funny feeling this whole part here is dead already. So I imagine that next time you see this, I'll have removed that part there, and we'll just see what happens with the rest of it. But they're notoriously slow growers. So what are we going to do? Well, I talked about having a look at the roots of that one. Do you know what? That's not such a great idea. It's held in there quite nicely. All I am going to do is a little bit of pruning on the top, and I think with that, I'll say ciao for now, and perhaps we'll revisit these in a couple of months' time. Right now, it's the 11th of August. Really nice hot week, and apart from this one crisping a bit, these have got lots and lots of young, fresh growth. So definitely benefited. Obviously, they started off in the great big tray. They've gone into their individual pond baskets. A little bit of an issue with this one, which many of you who watch my channel will hopefully remember and know about, and that's to do with wire scarring. And there's also confession, and that's that this one, which actually was probably set up to be one of the best, just died. I think it was another one of those, is it Verticillium Wilt or something like that? Lost all the leaves and just went, no apparent reason. So unfortunately, that's a goner. But should we have a little look at these and see what I might want to do with them midsummer? Obviously the answer with what to do with this one is quite easy. These things actually burn, I wonder. I think that is doing really well for that. Let's make some Japanese maple charcoal, shall we? So all joking aside, I think probably the next time we're going to see that is with bonfire night. Definitely burnt well, so I keep that dry. And because it was, I think this Verticillium Wilt or whatever, I'm not too keen to reuse this, so I'm going to put it into a container and see if I can bake it. It's probably about £6 worth of soil in there. Okay, so here we are again, looking now what are we going to do on the 12th of August. We've seen already earlier, probably 4 weeks ago, the scarring that happened as a result of wire that was put on there post-spring, and really the flush on these was so unexpected. And what you can see though is already the tissue is starting to fill in, and although we're going to have these obvious rotational scars, it's going to continue to fill. And if we look at what the bark is like down the base there, then over a couple of years we're eventually going to lose sight of it. So all is not lost if you do get wire scars on your maples, certainly with these Atropurpureums. To be fair, I put the wire on and I think that stayed pretty straight. It hasn't really done anything. I'd have to put the wire back on again, and in this instance I'm not going to. I'm interested to see whether down here, whether actually there could be an argument for losing the top and growing one tall one and one short one. Be interesting design. I think the only downside of that is we've actually got all the markings on this left hand side. So first of all, I'm going to go and sort out, remove things that clearly I don't want. So something on the inside, and we just need to go right in there on the bud and remove that. Also got some growth up here, never going to want that. See there, I just want to clean that up a lot nicer. And I could put paste or something on that, but it really doesn't need it, especially with those marks. And again, we've actually got 1, 2, and a little one at the back here. So let's get rid of the one at the back as well. Do you know what? There is something in me that says I could actually eventually get rid of that. That's a great big straight length, and although I had wire, I think it's going to be pretty hard pressed to try and get some movement in that. I'm going to let that grow, both of those grow, with a view that that could actually potentially be the future of this tree. And I think, as I say always when it comes to this pruning, whether it be your summer pruning, your spring pruning, or indeed when you get to the autumn time, it's subjective. You may have a plan or an idea where you're going. All I do is make sure that anything I know is wrong gets removed first, because then it makes the rest of the decision so much easier. When I've got maples, I'm always going to be removing, at this time of the year, midsummer, 50% of the leaf growth. I want to get light in there, and I also want to see if that will encourage some sort of positive reaction from what is a very difficult species to bonsai. So here we go, we look up, we've got central core, 1, 2 either side, and in this instance I actually want to take the center core out and aim to have ramification lower down. Got a terrible leaf there, that leaf's not so great, and I'm going to leave probably, what's that, about ½ centimetre as a stump, and I will put just a little bit of cut paste on it. So I'm going to go around, do all those sort of things with this, and show you how it looks when I'm finished. Okay, well there you go. All I've done is I've actually shortened this in a little bit, and potentially I am also going to be looking to remove this branch even further. In fact, you know what? When I say potentially, it's been annoying me already. Let's do it now. And the aim is I want to try and bring it in, and hopefully trigger the one-off bud rip. And hopefully that is going to trigger the bud setting that I'm going to need, which is going to come out in spring of 2026, but a lot closer in. And obviously I've got the other 3 that I need to apply exactly the same principles to. And I'll show you when it's done, but it's easy to see. When you look at something like this, there's absolutely loads and loads of shoots coming from single junctions. Once I start removing those, I have no doubt the direction will be very easy to see. I think probably this is going to be the best one. It's got a beautiful shape on it, which and some movement as well. So that is probably going to be the pick. I'll have a look at that when I'm done. So I'm going to get these all done up, come back for a final few words for midsummer. Okay, well, it's about 20 minutes later, and this one I've probably taken off 75% of the leaves. Some of them I noticed the leaf scorch was pretty bad right across. Something I've definitely noticed with the Atropurpureum. And look, there's a basic shape there. Things like this, far too long. Probably once we get to leaf fall, I will cut that back. Could I do it now? Probably. Trouble is, I've found with these is that I don't get any reaction from it. I'll wait until leaf fall, cut back then, and then hopefully we'll get the buds being set for next year. This one I really, really like, but I had to make a big decision. I like this here, and potentially I was about to remove this little whippet here when I suddenly looked at this great big long length here, and yet it's coming towards massive internode distance all the way at the top. And I thought, how, you know, I could potentially have it leaning backwards, but the tree is really at this point here. I suddenly thought, if we got rid of that, potentially this lower one here could work as a good branch, or maybe not. Maybe we'll get something from down here. So what I'm going to do for now is just cut there, and then we'll see exactly what comes from that. I love the movement and shape in that one, actually. Really do. Oh, lawn mowing. So let's come back and have a look at the other one that I need to make a similar sort of decision with. And it's this one. Actually, I don't think this is actually the Purpureum. Oh, actually it is. It's exactly the same. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's got a real obvious problem. I love the fact we've got some nice long shoots here. It's lending me towards an idea which may take long to resolve or to realise. But we've got 2 big problems with this. We've got here this very, very straight section, which is made worse by the fact when we look at it, there's 2 branches coming off at the top left, but we're going to have this obvious horrible chunkiness up here. And I looked at this lovely growth, and I've got this one here, maybe grow something from here, and I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to remove all of that, and hopefully what we'll see is budding from here, and maybe, I don't know, try and create again a little marmite sort of set with lots and lots of branches. Anyway, let me finish this, and hey, let's skip back and see each other again in November. Well, for you it's now probably February the 21st, and for me a week earlier. And you know what, it is indeed 4 years since I decided to start this YouTube channel, and you know what, I've had a load of fun. Ups and downs. YouTube is an absolute pain, and you know what, for all those out there who spend their time on social media, I know I got a just small inkling of just how difficult it can be for the old noggin up there. Doesn't matter how much you try and say, yeah, it's not going to affect you. I'd be lying if I didn't say that morning after a video I'm not straight down there looking at the analytics and, you know, either sighing because I've only got 4 views, or someone's written some silly comment, or indeed, whoever it is, there's 1 or 2 of you out there, definitely one, who is a serial hater, and you always give me the big thumbs down, regardless of the content. And do you know what? In all my time on YouTube, I've given 3 thumbs down. But you know what? Free speech, put as many thumbs down as thumbs up as you like. Water for ducks back. But do you know what? There is a way I can find out who it is, and I can block them. I don't like blocking people. I like my comments to be real, organic, authentic, and at least have some sort of direction in them. There's a couple of you, you know who you are, who tell me exactly what you think. But you don't hide behind anonymity. Anyway, that's me on my soapbox. You want to find out, well, actually not this one, this is a really nice maple. You want to find out just how that summer pruning worked out. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this year. And in fact, I will say that this year you will know already, a couple of you already said, where's the Tuesday video? Where's the Thursday video? And I've got lots to do around the garden. a lot of my trees are actually suffering because I'm just not getting to them because I'm trying to concentrate on the content. So this year, apart from the odd time, I'm aiming for just the one video on the Saturday. And many of you will notice that I've started doing these sort of 3-minute shorts. And the reason why I do that is, believe it or not, there's people out there who've got no attention span and don't really want to hear the in-betweens and the chat. So that's for them. For those of you I know who don't like shorts, they're not designed for you. If you want to watch them just to support my channel, obviously I'd really appreciate that. But they are primarily designed for those who've got absolutely no attention span and don't want to know the ins and outs because they know everything already. Do you know what? I'm being really catty. We'll get to see this tree later on in the year. But anyway, thanks everyone who does support me. So let's bring these back in the order that you've seen them worked on. Obviously this one, we've got the wire scarred on the left side and this big straight part here. You know, from just a few minutes ago, I said that I had a lot of intention and thoughts about actually cutting there. Well, tell you what, let's get this out of the way. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait. I'm actually going to give that part there as a dieback and I'm going to cut it there. And hopefully these two shoots here, which have got a nice sort of 40-degree split, will give me some lovely growth here and give me something lower down. I will, of course, seal that. And of course, you know, the other thing I did up higher on this side, I actually cut, there was a big long branch here, well, it wasn't long, but super thing. I cut it back with a view of finding out whether I'd get any extra budding or anything from it. And you know what? The story you're going to see is going to confirm why is I find this species an absolute nightmare to try bothering bonsai. Just there, that was the place that I did the cut. And all we've got is the original bud there that was already there. So it hasn't produced any other response from that summer cut. So let's cut that off. You know, I've got a couple of buds there, bud there, a couple of buds here, single bud on this side. So really not very forthcoming, and I may well see, I'll let these push out and then hopefully get some buds right back here that I can use. And same sort of on this side, just a few single buds which I'll let grow, and just that growth in there which I can just remove. Should we have a look and see what the results were with the other two? So removing this top part here create any sort of back budding response? And looking in close with even my eyesight, absolutely nothing. Not even on that ridge line there where you'd expect a bud to pop from. Certainly haven't seen anything there. I'm going to give it a little bit of time, see what happens in the spring, but otherwise I'm going to end up taking it right back to there end of May, and then we'll work on this bud here, which was the reason why I took the top off, because I knew I had another one down here. So yeah, I mean, I love it. It's going to be a lot shorter. I had the backup in knowing that I probably wasn't going to get any sort of buds from there. Disappointed? Yes. Still a chance I'll get something on this side, but there's certainly no buds that have shown up. Again, we've just got the one or two from each of the points lower down. Really, we'll wait and see, but that is a lovely shape. I think it's going to make a beautiful tree. Whether that comes down, we'll wait and see. So let's have a look and see. Probably similar results with the third, the most challenging of them. And sure enough, this was the big part that I took away. Looking in there, absolutely no buds from that first division line where you'd expect them. Again, I'll wait until end of May to make a final decision, but I can see myself cutting that one right back. And we've got this lovely big long length here. Could be tempted to cut it, but you know what? If I'm going to remove that, I need that branch to thicken. If that thickens probably twice the thickness, then I've already got a little micro bud that I can see just there, which is what I was looking for from this line here. Didn't get it. So that's going to be the future, potentially, maybe one a little higher up. But again, it's no point pruning that because it's not thick enough. Interesting, it depends, it really does depend. There is still a future in this tree as well. Not as nice, but I'm not ready to say, let's stop on this. And finally, we've got this this third big one. Do you know what? It's got a nice basic structure. There's close in, we've got buds around here and here. So this is an interesting branch, and yeah, it's straight and ugly, but we've got some interesting stuff up here and up here. This great big thing here, that will probably get cut back in May because I have got a little bud in close there. So I'll let it expend the energy on there, and then we will cut back for a bud that's there. Some trees, they're not going to be classic bonsai design, which, as many of you say, don't actually occur in nature. I'm quite happy to have some of these. They're just interesting. They're forming as they do, and once they're put in a nice pot, they'll probably look pretty good. Well, the reality is, it's the same problem. That Atropurpureum species is a nightmare. And look, there's some nice movement in this. There are some futures. I think the main thing we can look at with this one is if we follow these two big branches here up, you can see they've got buds higher up. But what I was looking for all the time is right down at the base. We've got some nice usable buds. Do you know what? Whether this will ever make a bonsai, I don't know. Am I ready to give up? No. All I'm going to do is look at this and go, let these buds that are right at the end and tips, let them go out and then cut right back here in the May time. Again, see if we can encourage the growth. But apart from that, allow outer buds to go so that I can get something closer in. Do need to clean up that. So we can clean up that. All these wounds right now. I am going to put some cut paste on. But you know what? Bonsai for me is a hobby. I absolutely adore it. I love it. I love seeing what's happening with different species. And though we may not get the results we want, they may not look like the books or the pictures that we get from Peter Chan or Bonsai Marine, but there is a certain organic elegance about some of these, and I'm definitely not ready to give them up. There is actually another much bigger Purpureum that you've seen me working on. Look, there is no doubt that the Atropurpureum is a really difficult Acer palmatum species to develop as a bonsai, and I agree with many of you who turn around and say, Zav, plant it in the garden. You could do with some nice sort of 5-6 foot trees. Yeah, you're probably right, but do you know what? The challenge is worth it. And in fact, if you want to see more about this tree, because it is actually going to be subject to probably a 4-year time lapse, and this is sort of halfway through that video production, that's a great video to see. Apart from that, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.